The power of declaration is greater than most people realize, and it is one of the most important tools you have to shape your reality. Words are not simply sounds or expressions of thought. They carry authority and energy that influence your circumstances. When you declare something boldly, consistently, and with faith, it begins to create movement in both the visible and invisible realms. The act of speaking is not passive. It is active engagement with the principles that govern provision. Every time you declare, "Money will find me," you are not just hoping, you are commanding your environment and aligning it with the reality you desire. Declarations set a course for your mind and your life. When you speak words of expectation, your mind begins to process opportunities differently. It starts to notice things it would otherwise overlook. It begins to anticipate solutions, and it directs your actions toward provision. Speaking with authority is a way of programming your subconscious to act in alignment with abundance. Each declaration is like planting a seed that will grow over time, producing fruit in the form of resources, opportunities, financial breakthroughs. The spoken word also influences your spirit. Faith-filled declarations strengthen your belief and create confidence in your ability to receive. When you consistently declare abundance and provision, you build resilience against fear, doubt, and discouragement. These words act as reminders of your authority over scarcity, reinforcing the truth that lack does not define you. They create a mental and spiritual environment in which positive outcomes can flourish. The more frequently you speak these declarations, the more natural it becomes to operate from a mindset of expectation rather than limitation. Consistency is key to the effectiveness of declaration. One powerful statement may create a spark, but lasting transformation requires repetition. Returning to the same declaration, speaking it daily, and meditating on its promises ensures that it is deeply embedded in your mind, heart, and actions. Daily repetition strengthens your faith, aligns your decisions with the expectation of provision, and prepares the way for tangible results to manifest. Consistent declarations create momentum that scarcity cannot withstand and help solidify your identity as someone who walks in abundance. Declarations are also commands to the universe, not mere wishes. When you speak with clarity, confidence, and authority, you are asserting your right to provision and signaling that you will not settle for less. These words set boundaries for what you accept in your life and define the reality you are willing to step into. Each time you declare, "Money will find me," you are issuing a command that influences your external environment and your internal mindset simultaneously. The energy behind repeated declarations creates shifts that are often unseen at first but manifest over time. Your actions must align with your declarations for maximum impact. Speaking without acting produces no lasting change. When your words and actions are in harmony, they create a synergy that magnifies results. Managing resources wisely, seeking opportunities, investing effort strategically, and taking consistent steps toward financial growth confirm the authority of your declarations. Each action in alignment with your spoken word signals to the world and to yourself that your words are serious and carry weight. This alignment is the bridge between faith and manifestation. The act of declaration strengthens your focus and directs your energy toward what you desire. When you declare abundance, your thoughts, emotions, and choices begin to reflect expectation rather than scarcity. Your mind becomes alert to opportunities that align with your goals. Your decisions are guided by possibility rather than fear, and your spirit grows confident in the certainty of provision. Words, when spoken with intent, train your mind to focus on solutions, attract resources, and position you to receive in ways that would otherwise go unnoticed. Declarations also affect your environment and the people around you. The energy you project through confident, faith-filled words influences situations, relationships, and opportunities. People are drawn to those who speak with certainty, and circumstances respond to consistent, positive expectation. When you declare that provision is coming, you create conditions that favor your progress, attract support, and open doors that were previously closed. Your words act as a magnet for the resources and connections you need to fulfill your declarations. Faith and belief amplify the power of your declarations. Words spoken in doubt or hesitation carry little weight, but words spoken with conviction and trust in the unseen create real shifts. Each declaration reinforces your belief in your right to abundance and strengthens your confidence in receiving. The combination of spoken word and genuine faith produces a momentum that scarcity cannot overcome, ensuring that the seeds planted through your declarations begin to grow and multiply. Finally, the power of declaration shapes your identity. The more you speak words of abundance and expectation, the more you begin to see yourself as someone who is worthy and capable of receiving provision. Poverty and limitation lose their hold when you no longer identify with them. Every declaration reinforces your identity as a person designed for abundance, provision, and opportunity. As you continue to declare, speak, and act with authority, your environment, mindset, and opportunities begin to align with the reality you are calling into existence. Faith is the bridge that connects your spoken words to tangible results, and it is the foundation for every declaration of abundance. Without faith, declarations remain empty phrases. With faith, they become commands that activate provision and attract opportunity. Faith does not wait for circumstances to change before it speaks. It acts in expectation. Even if your financial situation seems impossible, faith compels you to declare and expect that resources are already on their way. The unseen realm responds to belief, and your words carry authority when paired with unwavering faith. When you read this psalm tonight, speak it as if the provision is already present. Do not treat it as a hope or wish. Treat it as a reality in motion. Faith-filled speech communicates certainty to both your subconscious mind and the spiritual forces that govern provision. It positions you to receive blessings that you cannot yet see and prepares your mind and heart to recognize opportunities when they arrive. The act of declaring provision in faith is a declaration of authority over scarcity and limitation. Consistency strengthens faith. Reading this psalm one time may spark hope, but repeated declarations build spiritual and mental resilience. Daily engagement with your words of faith gradually rewires your thinking, instills expectation, and aligns your actions with abundance. Over time, repetition transforms hope into confidence and expectation into certainty. The more consistent your declarations, the more authority they carry over your life and circumstances, creating a momentum that cannot be ignored. Action is required to confirm the authority of your words. Declarations without alignment produce no lasting results. Faith in provision is demonstrated through deliberate steps, managing resources wisely, seeking opportunities, and taking intentional actions that reflect your expectation of abundance. Each act aligned with your declaration strengthens the pathway for provision, signaling that your words are not empty, but are backed by purposeful engagement. When speech and action are synchronized, they create an unstoppable force for transformation. Generosity amplifies the effectiveness of your declarations. Giving, even when it seems scarce, demonstrates trust in provision and aligns your life with the principle of multiplication. Acts of generosity signal readiness to receive and position as a conduit for blessings. When combined with faith-filled declarations, generosity accelerates the flow of resources and attracts favor from unexpected directions. The act of giving reinforces your expectation of abundance and strengthens the authority of your words. Persistence is essential because transformation does not occur instantly. Circumstances may appear stagnant, yet each repetition of your declaration, each faith-filled action, and each act of generosity builds momentum. Persistence demonstrates that you are serious and unwavering in your expectation of provision. Over time, this continuous effort dissolves obstacles, weakens the hold of scarcity unconsciously, and positions you to receive the abundance you are declaring. Gratitude magnifies the authority of your words and the receptivity of your heart. Thankfulness for what is already present, even amidst challenges, tunes your spirit to receive more. Gratitude aligns your mind with the reality of provision and amplifies the energy behind your declarations. By expressing appreciation for both present and coming blessings, you strengthen the connection between faith, action, and expectation, creating fertile ground for provision to manifest. Identity shapes the results of your declarations. Scarcity has power only when you identify with it. When you recognize yourself as a person created for abundance, favor, and financial breakthrough, your declarations carry more authority. Speaking from this identity transforms your mindset, strengthens your confidence, and positions you to act in alignment with the expectation of provision. The recognition of your rightful place in abundance ensures that your words, faith, and actions are consistent with the reality you are calling into existence. Your words influence both your environment and those around you. Speaking with authority and expectation impacts situations, relationships, and opportunities. People respond to confidence and certainty, and circumstances respond to consistent declarations. As you read this psalm and declare provision, the environment begins to align with your expectation. Opportunities, resources, connections begin to flow toward you as your words create a magnetic effect, drawing abundance to match your declarations. Finally, the alignment of faith, declaration, action, persistence, and gratitude creates unstoppable momentum. Each spoken word reinforces belief, each aligned action confirms authority, and each expression of gratitude amplifies your receptivity. Together, these principles form a cohesive force that scarcity cannot resist. As you continue to declare, act, and maintain expectancy, your life begins to reflect the abundance you are calling forth, creating a pathway for provision to find you and flourish in ways beyond what you have imagined. The moment you understand that your words carry authority, everything in your life begins to change. Every time you speak, you are sending a signal to both your subconscious mind and the unseen forces around you. When you declare, "Money will find me," you are not simply wishing for change. You are commanding your environment to align with your declaration. Your speech has power, and it acts as a magnet, drawing provision, opportunities, and resources toward you. The effectiveness of your words depends on the faith behind them and the consistency with which you declare them. Faith is the bridge that turns declaration into manifestation. You may not yet see the evidence, but when you speak with belief, you are setting in motion forces that operate beyond human perception. Faith allows you to act in expectation, trusting that what is spoken is already on its way. When you read this psalm tonight, do so with conviction, knowing that the words you declare carry weight and authority. Your faith-filled speech is a declaration of victory over lack, and it positions you to receive blessings that were once out of reach. Consistency in declaration multiplies its impact. A single reading may spark hope, but repeated declarations ingrain expectation into your mind, heart, and actions. Daily repetition strengthens belief and reinforces the authority of your words, creating momentum that compounds over time. The more consistently you declare abundance, the more natural it becomes to operate from a mindset of expectation rather than fear. Each repetition strengthens your alignment with provision and sets the stage for financial breakthroughs to manifest in your life. Action is the confirmation of your declarations. Words alone are not enough. They must be paired with intentional steps that reflect your expectation of provision. Managing your resources wisely, seeking new opportunities, and taking strategic actions demonstrates that your declarations are backed by commitment. Every step you take in alignment with your spoken words amplifies their authority and signals, both to your environment and your subconscious mind, that you are subconscious about receiving. Faith without action is incomplete, but action aligned with declaration creates unstoppable momentum. Generosity enhances the power of your declarations. Giving, even when resources seem limited, demonstrates trust in provision and opens the flow of abundance. Acts of generosity align your life with the principle of multiplication, allowing blessings to circulate and increase. When combined with consistent declarations, generosity accelerates the arrival of financial breakthroughs and positions you to receive more than you could have imagined. The energy of giving reinforces the authority of your words and attracts favorable opportunities from unexpected sources. Persistence is necessary because transformation rarely occurs instantly. Circumstances may seem unchanged at first, But each repetition of your declaration, each aligned action, and each act of generosity builds cumulative momentum. Persistence signals seriousness, strengthens faith, and gradually dismantles the hold of scarcity over your life. By refusing to give up, even in the face of apparent delay, you maintain alignment with provision and prepare the way for abundant resources to manifest. Gratitude amplifies the effectiveness of every declaration and action. A thankful heart tunes your spirit to receive and opens your mind to recognize opportunities. By expressing appreciation for what you already have, even in times of lack, you strengthen the connection between faith, declaration, and manifestation. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing your expectation that provision is on its way and ensuring that your declarations carry greater spiritual and practical weight. Identity plays a central role in activating your declarations. Poverty and lack have power only when you identify with them. When you recognize yourself as someone created for abundance, provision, and breakthrough, your words carry authority, your faith deepens, and your actions align with expectation. Speaking from this identity transforms your mindset, reshapes your decisions, and positions you to receive favor. Every declaration becomes an expression of who you truly are, and your environment begins to reflect the identity you embody. Your words influence both your environment and the people around you. Speaking with authority, expectation, and confidence impacts situations, relationships, and opportunities. As you read this psalm and declare provision, your environment begins to align with your declarations. Favor, resources, and opportunities begin to flow toward you because your words create a magnetic effect, drawing what you have spoken into your life. Consistent, faith-filled speech transforms both your internal and external reality. Finally, the combination of declaration, faith, action, persistence, gratitude, and identity creates unstoppable momentum. Each word spoken reinforces belief. Each aligned action confirms authority. And each expression of gratitude amplifies receptivity. Together, these principles produce a force that scarcity cannot resist. As you continue to declare, act, and maintain expectancy, your life begins to reflect the abundance you are calling forth, opening the door for provision, opportunities, and financial blessings to find you in ways beyond what you have imagined. The moment you begin to understand the power of the words you speak, your life starts to shift in ways you may have never imagined. Words are not simply expressions of thought. They carry authority, energy, and influence that shape both your inner and outer world. When you declare, "Money will find me," you are not merely wishing for change. You are sending a command into the spiritual and practical realms. Your words act as magnets, drawing resources, opportunities, and favor toward you. The true effectiveness of these declarations comes from the faith and conviction with which they are spoken, as well as the consistency that reinforces their authority. Faith is the bridge between your declarations and their manifestation. It does not wait for visible evidence. It acts in expectation. Even if your current circumstances seem impossible, faith compels you to speak and believe that provision is already on its way. When you read this psalm tonight, speak it aloud with confidence, trusting that the words you declare carry power and influence. Faith-filled speech signals to your spirit, your mind, and the unseen forces that you are ready to receive. It positions you to attract opportunities, resources, and breakthroughs that you might not have anticipated. Consistency is essential in transforming declarations into reality. A single reading may ignite hope, but repeated declarations ingrain expectation into your mind, heart, and behavior. Daily repetition strengthens belief and deepens faith, creating momentum that compounds over time. The more consistently you declare abundance and financial favor, the more natural it becomes to operate from a mindset of expectation rather than fear. Each repetition reinforces your authority over scarcity and opens the way for provision to manifest in your life. Action is the confirmation of faith and declaration. Words alone do not produce lasting results. They must be paired with deliberate steps that reflect your expectation of abundance. Managing your resources wisely, seeking new opportunities, and taking consistent, purposeful actions demonstrate that your declarations are backed by commitment. Each action in alignment with your spoken words amplifies their authority and signals to your subconscious mind and environment that you are serious. Faith without action is incomplete, but action in harmony with declaration creates unstoppable momentum. Generosity amplifies the effectiveness of your words and actions. Giving, even when resources appear limited, demonstrates trust in provision and aligns your life with principles of multiplication. Acts of generosity signal readiness to receive and open the channels for abundance to flow freely. When paired with consistent declarations, generosity accelerates financial breakthroughs and positions you to receive blessings from unexpected sources. The energy of giving reinforces your declarations, attracts favor, and multiplies the resources that flow into your life. Persistence is vital because transformation does not happen overnight. Circumstances may seem unchanged, and opportunities may not appear immediately, but every repetition of your declaration, every aligned action, and every act of generosity builds momentum over time. Persistence demonstrates seriousness, strengthens faith, and gradually dismantles the hold of scarcity in your life. By refusing to give up, even in the face of delay or doubt, you maintain alignment with provision and prepare the way for consistent, flowing abundance to manifest. Gratitude magnifies the impact of your declarations and your receptivity. A thankful heart tunes your spirit to receive, and sharpens your awareness to recognize opportunities that align with your spoken words. Expressing appreciation for what is already present, even amidst challenges, strengthens the connection between faith, action, and manifestation. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforces your expectation of provision, and amplifies the spiritual and practical weight of your words. Your identity shapes the authority of your declarations. Poverty and scarcity only have power when you accept them as part of who you are. When you embrace your identity as someone created for abundance, provision, and victory, your words carry authority, your faith deepens, and your actions align with expectation. Speaking from this identity transforms your mindset, reshapes your decisions, and positions you to receive favor and opportunity. Every declaration becomes an affirmation of who you truly are, and your environment begins to reflect the identity you embrace. The words you speak influence both your internal world and your external circumstances. Speaking with confidence, authority, and expectation impacts situations, relationships, and opportunities. As you read this psalm and declare provision, your environment begins to align with your expectation. Favor, resources, and opportunities begin to flow toward you, drawn by the magnetic energy of your faith-filled words. Consistent declarations gradually reshape your reality, creating conditions that reflect abundance and opportunity. Finally, the integration of declaration, faith, action, persistence, gratitude, and identity creates unstoppable momentum. Each word spoken reinforces belief. Each action in alignment confirms authority, and each expression of gratitude strengthens your receptivity. Together, these principles generate a force that scarcity cannot resist. As you continue to declare, act, and maintain expectancy, your life begins to reflect the abundance you are calling forth. Provision, opportunity, and financial blessings begin to find you, opening doors and creating pathways for resources and favor to flow into your life. The moment you realize that words carry authority, your perspective on life and provision changes forever. Words are not merely expressions of thought. They carry power that can influence your circumstances, your mindset, and even the unseen forces around you. When you declare, "Money will find me," you are not simply speaking a wish. You are commanding your environment to respond and aligning yourself with the flow of abundance. The authority of your words comes from faith, conviction, and consistency. And when these elements come together, your declarations begin to shift your reality in ways you may not yet understand. Faith is the bridge that transforms your declarations into reality. It does not wait for visible evidence. It acts in expectation. Even when your financial situation appears impossible, faith allows you to speak with confidence, believing that provision is already on its way. When you read this psalm tonight, speak it aloud with conviction, knowing that your words are not empty. They carry weight and influence. Faith-filled speech positions you to receive resources, opportunities, and breakthroughs that may have once seemed out of reach, activating forces that respond to the expectation you carry. Consistency strengthens the authority of your declarations. A single reading may spark hope, but repeated declarations ingrain expectation into your mind, heart, and actions. Daily engagement with your words builds momentum that compounds over time, transforming hope into certainty and expectation into reality. The more consistently you declare abundance, the more your mind and spirit align with the reality you are calling forth. Consistency ensures that your words are not fleeting, but rather establish a lasting pattern that poverty cannot withstand. Action confirms the power of your declarations. Words alone are insufficient. They must be paired with deliberate steps that reflect your expectation of abundance. Managing your resources wisely, seeking opportunities, and taking purposeful actions demonstrate that your declarations are backed by commitment. Each action in alignment with your words amplifies their authority and signals to both your subconscious mind and the environment that you are serious about receiving. Faith without action remains incomplete, but action aligned with declaration produces unstoppable momentum. Generosity multiplies the effects of your declarations. Giving, even when resources seem scarce, demonstrates trust in provision and opens the channels for abundance to flow. Acts of generosity align your life with the principles of multiplication, allowing blessings to circulate and increase. When combined with consistent declarations, generosity accelerates financial breakthroughs and attracts favor from unexpected sources. The energy of giving reinforces your spoken words, draws opportunities to you, and establishes a pattern where abundance continuously finds its way into your life. Persistence is crucial because transformation rarely occurs instantly. Circumstances may appear unchanged, but every repetition of your declaration, every aligned action, and every act of generosity builds cumulative momentum. Persistence demonstrates seriousness, strengthens faith, and gradually dissolves the hold of scarcity over your life. By refusing to give up, even when immediate results are not visible, you maintain alignment with provision and position yourself to experience consistent, flowing abundance. Gratitude amplifies the impact of your declarations and prepares your heart to receive. Thankfulness for what is already present, even amidst difficulty, tunes your spirit to notice opportunities and resources that align with your words. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to abundance, reinforces your expectation of provision, and strengthens the spiritual and practical authority of your declarations. Each expression of gratitude magnifies your faith, intensifies your expectancy, and enhances your ability to receive the blessings that are already on their way. Identity plays a vital role in shaping your reality. Poverty and limitation have power only when you accept them as part of your identity. When you embrace the truth that you are created for abundance, favor, and financial breakthrough, your words carry greater authority, your faith deepens, and your actions naturally align with expectation. Speaking from this identity transforms your mindset, reshapes your decisions, and positions you to receive resources and favor. Every declaration becomes an affirmation of who you are, and your environment begins to reflect the abundance you embody. Your words influence both your internal world and your external environment. Speaking with authority, expectation, and confidence affects situations, relationships, and opportunities. As you read this psalm and declare provision, your environment begins to respond. Favor, resources, and opportunities begin to flow toward you, drawn by the magnetic energy of your faith-filled words. Consistent declarations gradually reshape your reality, creating circumstances that mirror the abundance and financial blessings you are calling into existence. The integration of declaration, faith, action, persistence, gratitude, and identity creates unstoppable momentum. Each spoken word reinforces belief, each aligned action confirms authority, and each expression of gratitude strengthens your receptivity. Together, these principles generate a force that scarcity cannot resist. As you continue to speak act, and maintain expectancy, your life begins to reflect the abundance you are calling forth. Provision opportunities and financial blessings begin to locate you, open doors, and create pathways for resources and favor to flow